Ever been going about your day as usual when suddenly you have an idea? You search your bag, looking for somewhere to write it down before you forget. You only have a small window before you need to leave, and you don't want to forget the idea. However, there is nothing in your bag, not even a pen. Sighing, you settle with writing the idea on your phone and putting it in a random folder of your notes. Surely you'll get to it later, right? Time passes, and the ideas in your phone build up. Glancing at the numerous notes, you can't even remember where you were going with most of them, and thus, they are lost forever.
Were you able to relate to that experience? If so, then odds are you aren't a good note-taker. Our best ideas often come when we're too busy to write them down, so how can you expand upon them later? We're going to talk about good note-taking habits, organization, and more in this video today. That way you'll always have your ideas in your hands and ready to expand. Welcome to the Reulerverse. I'm Renee Roll. Let's get started.
If you want to take notes at maximum efficiency, there are 3 things to remember. 1. Always have a journal or note-taking device on hand. 2. Organize ideas based on category. 3. Use bullet points and color coding to write fast and make each note stand out.
We're going to go through each of these tips, expand on how to implement them, and discuss why they're important.
The first problem you ran into in our little scenario was not knowing what you were going to write on when that idea occurred. When inspiration strikes, we don't always have time to sit down and write. Every second counts. That's why, whether it's a journal or phone, you should know exactly where to put an idea the second it pops up. If you're one of those people who can tolerate writing on a phone, you might have designated folders for each idea type. Make sure they are easily accessible, and you should be able to type down an idea at any time. However, if you're like me, and you prefer physical writing, your process will look different. For those who want their ideas in a journal, make sure it's compact and easy to carry. I like to use the Peter Popper Press brand because it can be found at any bookstore. It's lightweight and high quality. Any brand of journal will do nicely though. Just don't buy one too small. Memo notes are difficult to write in, at least in my experience. Once you have a journal, you want to label the inside correctly so you can go back to your ideas at any time. This brings us to our next tip. Organize ideas based on category. In a phone or laptop, it's as easy as labeling folders properly. Make sure you can come back to them easily too. However, with a physical journal, you can't put all your notes into neat categories. They're often one after the other and out of order. Luckily, even with those limitations, there is an easy way to make sure you can go back to a good idea quickly. Every time I start a new journal, I number the pages. I'll usually put a number on every 10th page at least, so I have a general idea of the page count. Then, designate the first 2 pages to important breakthroughs. Whenever I have a great idea, I'll write it here alongside the page number. That way, I can go back to it easily. Think of it like a table of contents, but in reverse. Sometimes I don't fill this section out until the journal is full. It is a godsend to have when I'm looking through old ideas, though. It keeps things organized without having to do too much work.
Feeling like you can organize notes properly now? Great! Now we get to the third tip. Use bullet points and color coding.
The last hurdle you'll need to overcome is time. Your head may be bursting with things to say about the new idea, but most likely, you'll only have a few minutes to write it down. Write in quick bullet points, and don't use complete sentences. You can even use dashes for subcategories like this. Finally, when the note is done, take a pen and add some color. Of course, this part is optional. You don't need color to make the notes functional, but I found it adds more readability and diversity to them, even though I only normally color the bullet points.
And that's it. Some of these tips may seem really basic, especially for a lot of you who are already writers, but they're super important to go over. Ideas are the foundation of stories, and if you don't have a good foundation, nothing productive will form. So make sure you're always waiting for inspiration to strike and that you always carry a pen. With that, I hope I've inspired you, and I'll see you in the next video.
I'm starting a writing advice series, so if you like this video, you'll love these. Next week, I'll be covering my disastrous publishing story and how to avoid my mistakes.